Hello, in this video we show how to operate all the NC machines from Bhagwansons. Please watch the whole video to understand the full operation of the machine. First of all, we will put the electrical cable in the electrical cabinet. This is the electrical cabinet. The wires will be connected towards the left side of the connectors. This is the three-phase connection, red, yellow, blue. Red wire should be in the R connector, yellow wire should be in the Y connector, blue wire should be in the B connector, and N is the neutral. This is the earth cable connector. After connecting the electrical wires, turn on the MCB. Now Bhagwansons logo is being displayed on the screen. We will go to the home screen by clicking on the screen. This is the home screen. Before operating the machine, this knob, which is M mode A, indicates the manual and auto mode, and it should be in the manual mode, that is M. This knob shows the measurements of the machine. It should be in mm. If the manual auto mode knob is in the auto mode, you will see this screen. But we have to go on the home screen. For doing that, turn the knob to M mode. Then you will see this screen. After that, you have to press on the main button. Then you will see the home screen. Now I will explain the function of every button. Please listen carefully. Head lube. Head lube indicates whether the grinding head is being lubricated or not. We will turn on the switch, and after some time the LED will glow. Now we will check if the oil has reached the grinding wheel head. Here an oil glass has been provided. If we see carefully, we can see the oil has reached the grinding wheel head. Now turn off the head lube. It will take a few seconds to do the same. Now we will turn on the G wheel, which is the grinding wheel. This will not turn on because the head lubrication has to be turned on before that. So we will turn on the head lubrication. This LED will glow green, and after that we will turn on the G wheel. Now turn on the grinding wheel. The grinding motor used here is the star delta motor. The motor operates in the star connection during the starting and moves to delta after some time. The coolant will not turn on if the motor is in the star connection. Turn on the coolant when the motor switches to delta. Now turn on the R wheel, which is the regulating wheel. Hydraulic. This function is used when the dressing of grinding wheel and the control wheel is to be done. We turn on this switch for now. Here we can select which wheel is to be dressed, grinding wheel or the control wheel. Regulating wheel speed. Here we can change the speed of the regulative wheel, either decrease or increase. With using plus sign we can increase the speed and can be decreased using the minus sign. Now we are increasing the speed of the regulating wheel. Now we will see the status area of the display. Health shows that the machine is working fine. EMG stop shows the status of the emergency button. If the button is pressed, it will show a cross icon. If it is open, it will show a tick. If we go to another screen like diagnose and then main button is pressed, the hydraulic will turn off. So dressing can only be done in the main screen. We will discuss about the slide position when we will set the machine. The third thing is slide lube level, which indicates the oil level in the oil pump is okay. The oil level in this oil pump is okay. The fourth thing is slide lube, which is preset by us and there is no need to change it. Slide lube button. This is used to lubricate the slides. Slides can be lubricated using this button also. Now I will press the emergency button. All switches including head loop, grinding wheel, regulating wheel and coolant are turned off. Emergency is pressed is also shown. When emergency switch is opened, health and emergency status show ticks and the machine is ready for operation. Now we will show how to set the piece. There is a large gap between the regulating wheel and the work rest blade, so the regulating wheel should be brought forward. For doing that, you have to loosen this lock screw and tighten these two lock screws. Now we will move the regulating wheel forward. Now we will do the setting of the machine, which will be done by the jog mode, and make sure the machine is in M mode. Now tap the jog M button. The machine should be in M mode and the measurement should be in mm. Pressing the jog M button takes you to this screen. The mm selection chosen by turning the knob can be seen in this green box. 5 mm per second. This means that the slide that regulates the position of the regulating wheel will move forward or backward with a speed of 5 mm per second. This value can be changed by clicking on it. This value has a range from 0.01 to 5. For example, I'll set it to 2. The 2 value is updated on the green box. For now, we will keep it to value 5. The slide can be moved forward and backward using these two buttons. Now we have to move the slide forward, which will move the regulating wheel forward. The job is now resting on the work rest. When these two wheels are apart, this forward button will not work. To bring these wheels together, we have to press the S forward button. Now these two wheels have come closer and the forward button will work again. Stroke forward is only pressed when the distance between grinding wheel and work rest blade, and regulating wheel and work rest blade is more than stroke value. In our case, the gap between grinding wheel and work rest blade and regulating wheel and work rest blade is about 30 mm, and the stroke value is 4 mm, so we can press the S forward button easily. If you want to increase the distance between work rest blade and regulating wheel and work rest blade and grinding wheel, you can press the reverse button. If you want to move the slide in microns, then you have to select the micron measurement by turning the knob. This selection is represented by this green box. The slide will move with an increment of 10 microns. If you want to increase or decrease the increment 1, 10 or 100 micron, you can use this dialog. In micron mode, the slide moves in increments. That means the button has to be pressed repeatedly and the slide will move each time by 10 micron. By pressing the button once, the value changes from 806 to 816, and if we press the button again, it will change to 826. Even if the button is kept pressed, the value will change only once, in increments. If the machine is in mm mode, the slide will move continuously. The button is kept pressed and you can see the value changes continuously. Now the job is set on the work rest blade. We will tighten this lock handle and loosen these two lock handles. Now we will move the lower slide using these forward and reverse buttons. We have to move the slide towards the grinding wheel. To do so, we will use the forward button. We will keep the workpiece very close to the grinding wheel. Now the workpiece is very close to the grinding wheel and it should rotate. Now we will set the offset so the machine will remember this position. Now we will press the Save Offset button. The work coordinate system should be 0. By checking that, we ensure that the offset has been saved. Like in a CNC machine, we set an offset by touching the tool to the workpiece. The same is done in Centerless by touching the workpiece to the grinding wheel and ensuring that WCS is 0. Now we will discuss this column. WCS is already discussed, that is the offset of the workpiece. MCS is the machine coordinate system that tells how much the machine is away from its limits. This is the stroke value. This has the relation with S forward and S reverse buttons, that is stroke forward and stroke reverse. This will be discussed later. This is the offset value. These two buttons, S forward and S reverse, stroke forward and stroke reverse, are related to go and stroke value. As the job is close to grinding wheel, so we will press the S reverse button. Here these two wheels, grinding and regulating wheel, have moved apart. The machine has moved backwards, which can be seen by the MCS value. It was previously at 88.079. There is a difference of 4 mm, which is the stroke value. WCS. WCS indicates that the machine has moved backwards by 4 mm. To go. It indicates that the machine has to go to the offset value, that is 0. We will now talk about stroke. Stroke is used when the machine is in auto mode. In auto mode, the machine works in auto cycle mode. That can be done by going to the main screen. Now we will turn on the head loop, G wheel, R wheel and coolant. All of these toggles have been turned on. For demonstration of this video, these 4 toggles have been turned off and turned on as and when required in the video. Now we will tap the infeed cycle A, but this will not do anything because the machine is in manual mode. So we will turn the knob to A, that is auto mode. You will see this screen when in auto mode. Now we will tap the stroke button. Here we see total stroke value, that is 4 mm, which is divided into 4 parts. One is rapid feed, that is 2 mm, then is rough, that is 1 mm, and then is semi-finish, again 1 mm, and finish, that is 0. These different subdivisions have different feed values. Rapid feed is done at 2 mm per second, rough feed is done at 1 mm per second, semi-finish is done at 0.3 mm per second, and finish is done at 0.02 mm per second. The machine has to go from 4 mm to 0 mm. This has been divided into 4 steps. The first step is of 2 mm at the speed of 2 mm per second. The next step is 1 mm at the speed of 1 mm per second. The next step is also 1 mm at the speed of 0.3 mm per second. And the last step is of 0 mm at the speed of 0.02 mm per second. Now we will come out of the stroke screen by pressing the back button. This is the auto cycle main screen. The cycles are controlled through the execution window. Here we can see single and continuous. In single, there is an option for a single cycle. In continuous, the cycle runs continuously. We will choose the single cycle at the moment. The cycle operation is to be controlled from these two buttons, cycle start and cycle stop. We have to start the cycle, so we'll press the cycle start. The cycle runs for once. Now we will look at the status window. Cycle run. Cycle run has 2.0 written before it. It means that the cycle will run after 2 seconds. Head lube, G wheel, R wheel, hydraulic, coolant, they have been discussed previously. Spark out. It means for how much time the piece will be grinded. It has 3.0 written before it, that means the piece will grind for 3 seconds. Production count. It tells how many pieces have been grinded. W dress count, wheel dress count. It indicates after how many pieces we have to dress the wheel. The machine will show an alarm when that count is completed. Here we set the value as 9999. This value can be changed also. Now we will tap the parameters button. Here it shows this screen, spark out time, which indicates the time for which the piece will be grinded. Cycle restart time. This indicates after how much time the cycle will restart. W dress count PV. After this amount of pieces, the machine will show an alarm for the wheel to be dressed. W dress count CV. This shows the initial count of pieces that have been done. All these values can be changed by tapping on the number. We have set the stroke value at 4 mm, and now we will run the cycle in continuous mode using the cycle start button. Now we have stopped the cycle using cycle stop button. Now we have set the stroke value to 8 mm. Now we will go to the main screen of auto mode and start the cycle using the cycle start button from below. By pressing the cycle start button, the slide moves backward by 4 mm, which totals to 8 mm because we have done the stroke value previously as 4 mm and we have increased the stroke value by 4 mm, which makes it total 8 mm. By using the value of stroke as 8 mm, the slide goes backwards by 8 mm. Here the gap has increased so that the job can be picked up easily. Now we have stopped the cycle by using cycle stop button. By keeping the stroke value at 4 mm, the gap between the grinding wheel and the slide decreases. By decreasing the stroke value, the ease of picking up the job after grinding decreases. Now we will stop the cycle. Cycle has been stopped in between because the to-go value is not 0. To do the same, we will start the cycle again, and when the 0 value comes, we'll stop the cycle. You can increase the material removal rate from here. It can be 1 micron, 10 micron or 100 micron. We will press the A forward and A reverse button. A forward is auto forward and A reverse is auto reverse. If we want to increase the cut by 10 micron, we will press the A forward button once and the to-go value decreases to minus 0.01 mm. And if we want to increase the value, we will press the A reverse button and the value will increase to 0. Now we will make a cut for 10 micron. Now we press the cycle start button to refresh the values. Here the value of MCS is 84.129. After starting the cycle, it increases to 84.139. So the cut has increased by 10 micron. Cycle is still running, so we will stop the cycle. And now we will decrease the cut by 10 micron by pressing A reverse. Now the MCS value will decrease to 84.129 when I start the cycle. The cut value can be increased or decreased even if the cycle is running, by using the A forward or A reverse button. Now the machine is ready to operate in auto cycle, so we will go to the main screen. But it is not working because the cycle is still running, so we will stop the cycle and then press the main button. Now we will talk about diagnose. Here we find the output and inputs of PLC. These are significant to the electrician. Now we will talk about settings. Tapping on the setting button, we get this screen. Now let's focus on this column. By tapping on the main, we get the main screen. Feed mode. Tapping on this gets us to in-feed and through-feed. In-feed is used for collar job and through-feed is used for bar job. Now we go to home screen. Pressing on through-feed. The appearance of this screen is similar to the in-feed screen. It has same MCS, WCS to go offset and status, cycle run, head lube, G wheel, R wheel, hydraulic, coolant, all are same. Here cycle time left is the time for which the cycle will work. It will work for 1 minute and after that the machine will move backward. Now pressing the stroke button, we can set the cycle run time in this screen. The total stroke is of 4 mm, which is divided into rapid and finish. Rapid is for 1 mm and finish is for 3 mm. Rapid has a feed rate of 2 mm per second and finish has a feed rate of 0.5 mm per second. Now we will go back to the main screen. For now, let us keep it on the in-feed mode. RW ratio. This screen comes up when we press RW ratio. Here, spindle pulley is the ratio of the spindle pulley of the regulating wheel, and motor pulley is the motor ratio of the regulating wheel. These ratios are set by us and you cannot change them. By choosing the diameter 1, the regulating wheel will run at set speed, and same is the case with diameter 2 and 3. But the speed can be changed manually using the plus and minus sign in the RW wheel speed dialog. This is the login portal that is used by us. Now we will talk about alarm history and information. Alarm history gives us a timeline of the alarms that have been raised in the machine. Like now I will press emergency button and it will show emergency is pressed. In information tab, we give the information about machine belts and machine bearings. Use idle watch. It is used if the machine is idle. The regulating wheel and control wheel will turn off after the idle watch time, that is 60 seconds. This will be demonstrated now. As the machine was idle and no cycle was running, the grinding wheel is turned off automatically. This section is related to the slide lubrication pump. This is the lubrication pump. Slide lube delay. It indicates after how much time the slides will be lubricated. Here it is 180 minutes, that is 3 hours. Number of strokes. Number of strokes indicates how many strokes will be there when lubricating the slides. Slide lube on time. It is the time for which the pump will be turned on. Delay between stroke. This is the delay between each stroke. We have set 3 strokes here. If this LED is turned on continuously, that means the oil level in the lubrication pump is low, so please refill that oil. Slide position. It tells about the position of the slide of the machine. We will go to the infeed cycle. Here MCS value is 91.175, which is also the slide position value.